Good morning, I'm Pastor David LaFour, and for the past couple years, I've been preparing my Santa beard just for this very moment to make this announcement to you. I don't know if you recall, but a few months ago we had our Forward Together campaign, and part of the campaign is for every few number of families, I pledge to do one of these video announcements wearing a costume. So I'm in my Santa northerly winter cold weather costume for this one, even though it's in the middle of May. It felt good. Anyways, got lots to talk about, things going on here at St. Luke's and some important things we want to bring to your attention. Speaking of Forward Together, I'm not the only pastor of this church who pledged to do something. Pastor Dan pledged to run 1 mile for every $1,000 up to $100,000 that was donated. And since we hit that mark, he is this coming Saturday going to be running his 100 miles. So pray for him and wish him best of luck. This morning is also our big thank you and celebration day for the Sunday school that we've held for the last about 9 months. And thank you to our Sunday school teachers for all the volunteers who helped put that on, for the people who pinch hitted, and for the people who directed families and invited families, and for the kids who invited families. Thank you for a wonderful year of discipling and learning and growing in relationship with Jesus Christ. Next Sunday, which is Memorial Day weekend, we won't be doing anything at the 9:30 hour. And following that, starting June 2nd and for the month of June, we will be having something. It won't be Sunday school, but we'll be having a chapel service for the younger grades, so that's 5th grade and under. And then for 6th grade and up, we'll be doing a combined middle school and high school Bible study. More information to follow. You can look at the back of the What's Happening sheet as well, and that will have some of the information kind of charted out there if that sounded a little confusing. So this is helpful. Take a look. And coming up, we wanted to share a video with you about giving and about money. Sometimes that's kind of an awkward subject to talk about at church because whenever we bring it up as staff, it feels like it comes off as like we're asking for money. But money's something that the Bible talks about, and money is something that's important in our faith life. And so we're using this outside group and their material to talk about it in a way that's not an ask. It's just to talk about generosity and what Scripture, what God has to say about that. So give a watch.
Here's the story of how generous giving began. In the late 90s, a few of us got together to talk about something that concerned us. Wealth was reaching record highs, but generosity was lower than it had been during the Great Depression. It didn't make any sense. Greater wealth gives us the opportunity to be more generous, and generosity leads to abundant life. So we had the opportunity for more abundant life, but we weren't taking it. Why? Now, around that same time, we met some people who lived very generous lives, and we asked them, why are you so generous? We heard their stories. We saw their joy. Their passion and convictions inspired us. And we found something else. Just talking with others about generosity opened our hearts so God could grow us. And from that point on, we knew generous giving would always be about a conversation. So we began to create events for people to come together and simply discuss generosity. And when we did, God showed up, and we all left encouraged. But many of our friends were skeptical, worried that these conversations were actually just a sneaky way for us to ask them for money. And it made us realize that we needed a place where you could talk about generosity without ever being asked for money. And it was then that something remarkable happened. A family foundation with a legacy of generosity stepped forward and offered to underwrite this work in its entirety. Here's why that's a big deal. We never have to ask anyone for money, ever. Our conversations really had no strings attached. They could be honest. And it's those honest, open conversations about generosity that make wonderful things happen in our lives and in our world. That's the story of how generous giving began. And it continues today in both large gatherings and small. We're not here to give you all the answers. We're here to give you the gift of conversation and together move deeper into the life that is truly life.
That's almost everything I have for you. One note, our connection cards, you got them in the pews in front of you. If you're new here, fill it out. We'd love to know who you are. And also, there's a chance for prayer requests on the back side, so we can know how to pray for you. Thank you, and have a good Sunday morning.